Man, you guys. All right, where's my water? Here it is. I need some water. Let's take a breath. Oh, I am so pumped, you guys. I have no idea what time it is. I mean, we're just going to go with it today, okay? And we are just going to stay in the space and talk about what we need to talk about. Now, don't worry, I am going to have you out of here sometime around 5 o'clock, 5:30 Central, something like that. If you are an exacting person and you want to know exactly what time we're going to end, I can't tell you, but it's going to be sometime between then, okay? But I want you to be here. And we're going to start out today. Now that we feel alive, we feel awake, we feel excited. You guys feel excited? You feel that energy? You feel alive? Yes, like you should have seen me last night. I'm like, ooh, we need this song, we need that song. You know I love my music, right? It's like, dang, it's got to be like pumping. But I have a lot of different playlists for you guys to listen to. So I'm feeling really alive. I'm feeling really awake. I'm feeling that even though I didn't sleep super deeply last night, I think I was just so excited, right? You guys, were you excited? Yeah. Okay, so even though I didn't have all the things perfectly in a row, I feel awake. I feel alive. I feel lucky to be living. And we're going to talk a little bit about what it means to be living awake and what it means to keep moving forward even in the pain. And so in your workbook, you'll find this quote that I share, and we're going to pop it up on a slide for you to see. I want you to understand what I mean when I say living awake. If you go to my Instagram bio, you'll see that. And the reason I like to talk about this is because for so many years of my life, I felt like I was half asleep. I felt like let's take it back to that slide. I felt like I was not living fully awake. Like I was just sort of sleepwalking through life. I don't know if any of you guys have had experiences like that. And maybe it's legitimately because you are just exhausted. You're in that time of your life where you're like feeding babies or working 3 businesses or going through a divorce or like dealing with something really difficult. And you're like, I just got to get through this day. I just got to survive. But there comes a time when we have to pull ourselves out of survival mode, whether it's 2020 survival mode or it's, wow, that was really hard to go through. I've been in survival mode for 5 years or 10 years or whatever it is. But I believe that you cannot truly transform your life until you have an internal awakening. It allows you to see things as they truly are, as they have been, and as they are meant to be. It's an awakening that a lot of people shy away from. Remember we were talking about that buffering? Oh, I'm just going to scroll through Instagram for 2 hours because this is really painful, because it requires some self-honesty. And a lot of people think that self-honesty is like, you've got to be harsh on yourself. You've got to give yourself like 50 lashes. You've got to like pull yourself down, talk negatively to you. That's not what it is. It's like this zooming out. Let me zoom out and let me look at the situation. Let me look at my actions. Let me look at what I'm doing. Let me see what they truly are, what they have been, where I'm meant to go, what I'm meant to do. Like, let me just be honest with myself and not afraid of that. It's not a tearing yourself down sort of process. So living awake begins when we recognize and we let the parts of us die that have been slowly killing us and dragging us down. Then letting the light and the truth and the positivity flood into our souls and give us the fuel to move forward. I'm going to share some experiences from my life. I'm going to talk about when I was 13. I'm going to talk about when I was 16. I'm going to talk about when I was 19. I'm going to talk about some times in my life where some things that I thought led down paths that were not productive or good for me. So anyways, let's move on from that slide and let's think about the best times in our lives. Let's think about, like, I want you to tell me in the chat, okay? Tell me in the chat, when was the time in your life that you felt the most alive? Where you're just like, woohoo, yeah, I'm on top of the world. Anybody? Tell me. High school? When you had a new love? I love that. Your son's birth? Oh my gosh, the birth of your first grandbaby, ranking up, your wedding right after a win, right? It's that excitement, that light, that adrenaline. You know what? That's the truth. That's the truth. And we have to remember those times when we were most awake, most inspired, and on fire in our lives. What did that feel like? What did that inspire you to do in your life? Physically, how did you feel? Like, how was your energy? Did you feel unstoppable? Did you feel like, oh my gosh, like I could go run 6 miles? Okay, well, maybe not that, right? But you're like physically, like energetically, I just feel so good. Maybe if you struggled with sickness, maybe that wasn't something that you really were feeling or experiencing as much because you were on this high, this euphoria, things were really going well. What about emotionally? How did you feel emotionally? When you were in that space, were you able to handle setbacks? Were you able to handle criticism? Were you positively moving forward? Were you speaking kinder words to yourself? Because listen, like you can have the very best times in your life and still get criticism, right? Can I get an amen in the comments? Like that was 2020 for me, right? Best time in my life in so many ways and so much criticism, like arrow, like so much, but like emotionally standing in the truth and being able to emotionally stay well and physically stay well. During those times that were the best times in your life, what was happening in your relationships? More honesty, more trust, more clarity. Doesn't mean that every relationship is perfect. Doesn't mean that every relationship at that time in your life had a happy ending. But did you have clarity? Did you have honesty? Did you feel connected to yourself, to others, to a higher power? What were your relationships like? I have a feeling that in those best times that you've told me about in the chat that I see, in those best times, you were just on fire in all those ways in your life, even if you were walking through hard times. Anybody here walk through a really hard time and also had the best year of their life? Anybody here walk through a hard time and also had some of the most success in their business? Yeah, yes. I love it. Tammy, yes. Mary, yes. Sue, oh my gosh, you guys get this. You get it. So we're going to talk about how to continue to navigate through that, because sometimes we can do it once and then we go through another hard time and it's like we have amnesia. We don't remember, like, oh, wait a second, I made it through this 2 years ago. Because I made it through that 2 years ago, I can totally make it through this. This is nothing. This is manini. This is small kind. In Hawaii, we say manini, small kind. Like, no big deal. I have conquered harder things than this. Say that in the chat. I have conquered harder things than this. Okay. So I want to know now. We take a deep breath. So where are you at today? Right now? In this moment? Are you on cloud 9? Are you riding high? Now, I know you are because you got to see my dance moves and you're like, yes, but really, like in your life, in your health, in your emotions, in your relationships, in your business, are you in the same place? Or are you struggling a little bit? Are you feeling like on that roller coaster and you're like, oh my gosh, when is this ever gonna end? I have a couple questions for you. What has changed? What has changed? Have some things changed in your life? Have you dropped some habits? Have you forgotten to speak your affirmations? Have you stopped moving? Have you stopped connecting to the source, right? Have some things kind of fallen by the wayside? Because I'll tell you what I've seen. I have seen, even in my life, at some times of last year, I let some things slip and I let some things slide and I let my connection in some things or some of my habits kind of like drop through the wayside, because 2020 was like an awesome year to just like tap out and make excuses for why you couldn't do this, why you couldn't do that, why you couldn't show up here. So many people made that excuse to not be here today because it's just a really convenient excuse. And so we have maybe let some things go, and things might be going well in a lot of ways, but what if we could fine tune your beautiful beautiful Ferrari. We could just fine tune it, and we could just make a little adjustment here and a little adjustment there, and up level that habit, and fix that limiting belief and that negative thought. What if we could do that? What would 2021 look like for you? Because we have to think about why you couldn't sustain the fire. For me, success is not just being able to like reach a goal once and being able to like be happy in my marriage once. 23 years this July. Okay. It's not about one time. I don't want to be a one-hit wonder, right? I want to be able to sustain the fire. Who wants to be able to sustain their success? Who wants to be able to sustain their happiness, their health, their fitness, their bank account, right? We all want to be able to sustain that. And that truly takes alignment. That's what alignment is all about. That's why this event is called Align. For me, Align is like coming home. Every year we have this opportunity. I only do this once a year, you know? It's like, this is like giving birth, you guys. I've been pregnant, and like today I'm giving birth, okay? So literally, this is coming home to alignment. And alignment means not perfection. See, how many of you guys in the comments are recovering perfectionists? Can I, like, if I could lift all my legs and my arms, like that would be me, and I just kick the carpet up. You guys, I wouldn't be surprised today if I like trip over the carpet once. This is probably going to happen, and like, let's just clap and cheer for it. It'll be super entertaining. I'm here for the entertainment, you guys. So anyway, I feel like most people don't understand alignment. They believe alignment is balance. They believe alignment is getting all their ducks in a row, everything like perfectly lined up. That's their idea of alignment. And my idea of alignment is we are a multifaceted being. We have our spiritual self, or our soul. We have our emotions and our mental health. We have our physical health. We have our relationships and how we communicate with other people. We have our finances and our money. We have all these different areas of our life. And sometimes one area is starving. It's like starving and withering up and dying. And we're like, I don't understand why physically I'm not feeling good, or I don't understand why I can't reach that next rank, or I don't understand why I can't break this level of income, or I don't understand why my husband is always so mad at me. Like, we're like blind because we're buffering. We're blind because we're not wanting to wake up and see the truth. And so we're not able to identify that area of our life that is withering away and out of alignment, and bring it back into this circle of life, so to speak. We have to wake up all those senses and all those areas of our life, not in perfection. It's like this, like sort of like this juggling act, and this harmony thing that's going on. Are you guys kind of getting this picture, right? Balance is elusive. It'll never happen. I've never achieved balance, right? Yes. Why is my husband always mad at me and checked out? Yeah, I've experienced that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to do a date night tomorrow night with my husband. You know, it's been a journey these last 5 years, and I can honestly say it's the most beautiful thing now. And I want you to be able to go through that journey and find that alignment. So when we find alignment, it simply means that we're living awake. We're receiving inspiration from whatever source you receive inspiration from. Mine is God. So we receive inspiration. We feel it in our heart. We receive that inspiration and we act without hesitation. Receive, act, no hesitation. Hesitation kills more dreams. Hesitation kills more relationships. Hesitation kills your health, your emotions, your spirituality. It's receiving the inspiration and acting without hesitation. And when we're in alignment, we're able to see, oh my gosh, oh, my kids really need me right now. This child really needs me right now. So I'm going to shift a little bit more of my attention to this child. And I'm just going to take a little bit from this bucket, right? And then when that sort of evens out, you're like, oh, you know what? I haven't been paying attention to my physical health. I'm not sleeping. I'm not drinking water. I haven't been moving my body like regularly. No wonder my emotions are off. Okay, so I'm just going to make a little tweak. It's like this continuous process of checking in with yourself. And one of the things that we're going to talk about is how we can check in with ourselves, like have that reality check. Are you here for the reality check, you guys? Yes, have that reality check on a weekly basis so that when we get through the end of a week or a month or a year, we don't feel like we're going to die. Oh my gosh, like, oh, I got to quit my business. I got to quit my relationships. Oh, I suck as a mom. Why even try? Like, I'm never going to get out of debt. I'm always going to carry all this extra weight. Like, so we just quit. We continually quit and quit and quit. And what if what we did is we just, in a compassionate, loving way, in that way where we are being kind to ourselves, but honest, because honesty is kindness. Write that down. Honesty is kindness. Okay? Being honest with yourself, not mean to yourself, being honest with yourself is kindness. And when you're honest to yourself, you are able to allow yourself to go through the process of change and bring your life back into alignment. So what I have learned, are you guys doing okay? Are you like awake? Do we need to like do some knee ups or like some squats or anything? Everyone okay? Tell me in the comments, you guys awake? You alive? Okay. All right, good. Because I could see a lot of you there. Melissa, Janelle, Stephanie. Okay, great. We're all right. Okay. So what I found a couple of years ago, about 2.5 years ago, right, Tyler? I'm talking to Tyler. 2.5 years ago, I had him find a video for me. We're not going to show it to you yet, but I didn't understand what was behind the pain that I was feeling. I didn't understand what was behind the block that I was feeling in my business. I didn't understand what was behind the lack of emotional intimacy between me and my husband. I didn't understand why I was feeling so exhausted and so sad and so anxious. I didn't understand why I was feeling all of those things. Has anybody ever felt any of these things? I was experiencing like a lot, and it was like a dark cloud over my head. And I was like, what the heck is going on? I'm making a lot of money. I'm really successful. I just went to like the second private island. Like, I mean, everything is, Tyler's laughing back there. He's like, can you take me to a private island? I would love to take you to a private island, Tyler. That would be super fun. Okay. All right. So anyway, I had so many great things going on in my life, and I felt nothing. Like nothing. Have any of you guys been in that place where you have just felt totally empty? Maybe that's not today, but maybe you've lived through that, or maybe it's coming. Don't be afraid of it, right? It happens for us all. But I had so much going on for me. Beautiful family, beautiful home in Hawaii. I mean, who doesn't want to have a home in Hawaii, right? Yes? Lots of income, lots of success, all this praise from people and stuff. And I felt nothing. It's because deep down inside, there was an offender. There was an offender inside of me, offending my soul, offending my spirit, assaulting me every single day of my life. You have to identify the offender. And when I talk about the offender, what I mean is, what is that limiting belief? What is that negative thought? What are those things that like you put on repeat in your mind? Or when something goes wrong, you go back to this like archaic way of thinking that maybe you've been thinking since you were 12 or 16 or 20 or 30 or whatever. You go back to that limiting belief, that offender, and it starts to spiral in everything, right? It spirals in your thoughts, in your physical health. You sabotage your relationships. You don't show up to do the work for your business. You see, like so many people, it almost like makes me like want to crawl out of my skin, right? Jerry, I was talking to you about this, like, oh, I just want to like crawl out of my skin. But people want more tools. Show me another tool. Show me another system. Show me another message. Show me another strategy. And I'm like, so your strategy is in here. So your strategy is in here. This is your strategy right here. Put your hand on your heart. This is your strategy. You get your heart right. You get your head right. You get your thoughts renewed. You fix that, and success is a breeze. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm living proof of that. I hired my first coach about 2.5, 3 years ago. I'll show you a little bit more later about that. But I hired my first coach 2.5, 3 years ago and did a lot of work to figure out what the heck is wrong with me. I remember sitting at my desk, having all of the things that I had said that I wanted, that I thought were going to make me happy, and just crying and being like, I know there's something more for me to reach for. I know there's something more for me to strive for. I know you have a plan for me. I know there's something else you want me to do. But in this like broken state and in this like negative energy and this dark hole I'm in, there's no way I'm going to get there. And it made me cry because I felt the feelings of regret. I felt the feelings of like, oh, I don't want to live below my potential. I want to reach my potential, because progress is life to our spirit and to our soul. And so if we're not progressing, we're not feeding our soul. And by progress, I don't just mean money. I don't just mean finances. I don't just mean a rank up. Those things will come so much easier when you free up your heart and your spirit. But progress, I mean like you're growing. You're growing in your ability to have healthy relationships. You're growing in your self-love with your physical body. You're growing in how you deal with your negative thoughts and emotions and feelings. You're growing in all of those ways. And that allows the money side and the business side to just flow to you more freely. Do you guys believe this? Janelle's like, I need you yapping in my ear every day. Well, just put this on repeat for 2 weeks, and then you'll be like, I never want to hear her speak again. I don't like the tone of her voice. Yeah. Okay. So you hear this over and over, right? And so, excuse me. Oh my gosh. So what I want you to know is that when I started digging into this, and when I started kind of digging up what was in there, age 13, sadness, age 16, unworthiness, age 19, I'll never be good enough. Age 30, deep, dark depression, right? I can go back to different ages in my life, and I can pinpoint these specific feelings, moments, thoughts. Can any of you guys do that? When I started digging it up, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so painful. Oh, I just want a buffer. Where's my phone? I just want to sit on the couch and just watch TV for 3 hours. Like, it's kind of hard, but I held on. I held on tight. I did the growth. All this stuff in your workbook, all these questions we're asking you, everyone that's speaking, they're gonna really bring it, you guys. Like, nobody is holding back. You didn't pay to come to this to have us just coddle you, right? Like, I am not a coddler. I love you. I'm going to tell you the truth, right? So digging in was hard. Even if you're on cloud 9 and things are going really good, guess what, babe? Guess what, dude? There's guys here too. There's another level for you. There's another 2 levels. There's another 10 levels for you. I don't care how amazing everything is. There's something underneath there you need to work on, because there's like a 10th level higher you're supposed to go. Okay. So when you dig into this, it might be hard. There might be some pain. It might be uncomfortable, but it is so worth it. In that year that I started doing the work and I really dug in, I doubled my business, got myself another coach a year ago, doubled my business again. Okay. Now, in the process of doubling my business both of those times, guess what else happened? You know, my husband and I have emotional intimacy and the best communication and relationship and mutual respect and love that we've ever had after 23 years. I'm closer to my children. I'm more honest with my children. I don't feel like a horrible mother most of the time, right? Those thoughts always come up for all of us. But I'm no longer thinking my kids would be better off without me, right? I feel like we are closer as a family. My physical health, like literally the way that I look, the way my muscles are, the way that I move, better. The way that I deal with my thoughts. Do those negative thoughts still come up? Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes, they come up. They will always come up, but my tools and my strategies for working through them have improved. So they come up, but I'm able to keep moving. So I didn't just experience an increase in success. I experienced, as Brendon Burchard says, a richness of life. Who wants a richness of life? Who wants to experience it all, to have it all, to feel that deep richness, that satisfaction, to feel like you're doing what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, where you're supposed to do it, and you're enough at the time where you need to be, when you need to be there. Like, that's what I wanted to feel. And that is what I have experienced. And I continue to uncover layers. You guys, you don't just grow once, you keep growing. Guess what? You uncover another layer. Ouch, that's painful. I don't want to go there. Okay, I can do this. Breathe, breathe, think through it, work through it. Okay, another level, uncover it again, right? You're always going to be growing, but ooh, it's such a ride. It's such a wild ride, you guys. It is so worth it. I want you to know, Sherry, I would love to feel like that. She said, Sherry, it's available to you. It's available to you. You can have that. You're reaching for that by being here. And I very, very strongly feel that so many of you guys are going to start on that path. This 3 days won't be the only thing for you. This 3 days won't be the end all be all. But this 3 days can be the catalyst, the launch pad, the rocket ship that takes you on the journey that you personally need to go to in 2021. Now, one more word about alignment, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about the offender. My alignment doesn't look like yours. So a lot of times you might see me like, oh my gosh, like, how does she have all these businesses and all these kids and she's like doing burpees and like all this stuff? You don't have to do the same things I do, you guys. And you don't have to do it how I do it. You're not a clone. You're supposed to do it in your own way. And one of the biggest detriments to me in my success and my journey has been feeling like I need to do it like so-and-so. I need to post like so-and-so. I need to up my game like so-and-so. I need to look like so-and-so. I need to speak like so-and-so. I need to do something like this person does it. And every time I would try to do that, I felt worse and worse and smaller and smaller and smaller. And it like one day I was like, I got to take this off. Like, this is not working for me. Like, I just got to be me and love me or hate me. Like, this is me, right? Be you and understand that your alignment is not going to look like anybody else's alignment. And that's okay. We're not here to judge. In this community, we're not here to judge. Okay. What you need to do is what you need to do. What I need to do is what I need to do. We are just here to be receptacles and vessels and a catalyst for change for you guys. Yes? Yes. Okay. So let's talk about this offender and let's talk about what a limiting belief is. Now, for some of you guys, this might seem really basic, right? Let's slide to the next one, Jerry. So I want you to just take a few minutes. We're going to put on a little soft music and we're going to journal for 4 minutes, just 4 minutes. I want you to let every trash talk thought out of your head, every limiting belief. Open your workbook if you have it, or just in your notebook. You don't have to have the workbook, you guys. I want you to take 4 minutes to write down everything horrible, harsh, limiting, negative that you have said to yourself. And we'll start now. I know that was hard for you. Was that hard for you? Tell me in the chat. Was that hard for you to actually write all of those things down, to experience those thoughts, to be honest with yourself about the things that you've been saying to yourself, thinking about yourself, talking about, having this dialogue in your mind? I think it's hard. Yes. Oh, I hope that, we'll have to post up the words to that song, because that song has a special meaning to me. It's called Unconditionally by Katy Perry. I'll talk about it in a minute, but first I want to show you my very first coach, Preston Pugmire. He coached me about 3 years ago. He was my very first coach, and very shortly after we started coaching, I attended a little event called Next Level Life. And he helped me to dig through a lot of different things and basically figure out, okay, what's underneath that thought? So all these things that you wrote down, there's something else underneath that thought, and something else underneath that thought, and something else underneath that thought. And so when you keep digging, you get to the root of what that thought is that's permeating and penetrating every area of your life, your business, your health, your success, your bank account. You can't escape that thought unless you are ready to break up with it, right? Unless you are ready to break the board, so to speak. And so my limiting belief, when I thought about this, when I worked through this, and it takes some time, you have to sit down. We have a journaling playlist for you guys. And I want you to take some time this weekend to sit down and to journal. Journal about your life, journal about your experiences, journal about your memories. Like I shared with you, 13, sadness, 16, unworthiness, 19, not good enough at all, 30, depression. I'm just a depressed person. I'm just a sad person. Like, these were literally the thoughts and the feelings that I thought, well, this is my life. This is me. This is who I am. Like, I guess I'm always going to be a cup half empty person, and I'm always going to struggle with depression, and it's always going to get the best of me, and I'm never going to be enough, and all of these different things, right? I had to get to the bottom of that. And I've suffered loss in my life. And I think most of us have suffered loss in our life. And for me, I'm actually going to show you, we did an exercise at this event where we got to break the board. And on one side of the board, we wrote what our biggest limiting belief is or was in our life. And I dug up my board for you guys. This is straight from Hawaii, okay? So before I came back to the mainland, I started digging through my boxes and I found my board, and this is my board. I don't know if you can see it. Can they see that? Okay, so my board says, all good things in my life come to an end. I literally thought everything good in my life would come to an end, that I would not be able to sustain anything. And it was killing me. It was killing me in my success, in my business. It was not allowing me to celebrate and enjoy my success, to feel proud of myself, because there was so much fear and scarcity that everything good in my life was going to come to an end, that eventually my husband would leave me, that something bad would happen to my kids, that one of them would die, that I would lose my business, that I would lose all my friendships, like literally terror. I don't know if any of you can relate to that, but I felt like everything good in my life would come to an end. And as I did the work to work through those feelings, and how I got there was literally making a list of all of the good things that had happened in my life, all of my victories, all of my wins, all of my celebrations, looking at past things that had gone well and the things that I was able to sustain. For crying out loud, you guys, I've had 6 babies and I can still run. Okay, that's sustaining something, right? I'm still, with the love of my life, right? There was so much proof that not every good thing in my life came to an end, but I was hanging on to that thought. It was like comfortable and cozy. And anytime I felt uncomfortable, I could be like, well, see, I told you, everything good in your life comes to an end, Brooke. Like you can't maintain success. You can't maintain that income. You can't maintain that rank. Look, your husband's mad at you again. See, eventually he's going to be gone. Like literally, that is where my head went every single time. And after about 6 months of working through this, I decided I was done. I decided I was done experiencing this version of me. I was done experiencing this thought. I was ready to stick it in its grave and like bury it with 1,000 tons of dirt. I was like so ready to be done. And on the other side, I wrote my truth. On the other side is the reality, right? Like we talked about, when I zoom out and I looked in, like, what is actually the truth? What is actually going on? What is actually my reality? And we're going to show you a video of the moment where I got the strength and I got the power, and I was like, boom, you're out of there. I'm done with you. Boom, you're out of there. I'm done with you. We're going to show you that video. They need to see that again, Tyler. Do you see how easily, how swiftly, how powerfully I broke that board? And I finally made up my mind that that was not my reality. That was not my life. That was not what was going to happen to my bank account or my business or my marriage or my kids or any of those things. That was actually not the reality. I'm done with you. I'm not going to experience you anymore. This is not who I am. My real belief is I have faith and belief that I can create, nurture, and sustain the good things I treasure in life and beyond. This is my truth. That's my truth. What is your truth? What is your truth? What do you want more than anything in your life? What do you want to experience? What do you want to feel? What number do you want to see in your bank account? What kind of communication and relationship do you want to have with the loved ones in your life? What is it that you want to feel more of? You can't simultaneously hang on to this board and have that. You will reach your lid. You will reach your max, and you might be in a good, comfortable place, and you might be pretty successful and have a pretty happy life and a pretty happy marriage, but you weren't meant to just have a pretty happy life or a decent bank account. You were meant to have all of it, like all of it. And so you have to decide to break up with that board. Jerry, can you take me to the next? So I want you in your workbook to write down, what is your truth? What do you know in your highest self when you're running, when you're singing in the shower, when you're with yourself, when you're inspired, in moments like this, when you're hearing truth from all these speakers? What do you know you are capable of? What do you know is possible for you? I want to hear in the comments, what do you know is possible for you? What do you know you're capable of? I have this little saying, and I wish I had brought it here with me. It's literally above my sink in our cabin, and it says, I will make everything that is in my life beautiful. Right? Remember, my limiting belief was everything good in my life comes to an end. It has totally flipped for me now to where I have this feeling in my heart that I will make everything that is in my life beautiful. I will hold on to everything. And you have to surround yourself with good people that support you in breaking the board. Yes, you need to do that. We're going to talk more about that as we go. You have to learn how to speak truths and affirmations to yourself. You have to learn how to support your heart in the process of breaking that board, because you need the support. You need the good people. You cannot continue to put yourself in the same situations with the same people, with the same verbiage, with the same chatter, with the same words that you're speaking to yourself, and expect that you're ever going to break up with that board. So today can be the day that you have your breakthrough, that you break up, and that you are renewed and you move forward into 2021. So I want this more than anything in my life right now. That's in your workbook. I want you to think about this. What is it that you want more than anything in your life right now? In order to get that, what we're going to talk about this weekend is what you need more of, what you need less of, what you need to let in, what you need to let out, what you need to open the door to, and what you need to close the door on. We're going to focus on the pluses and the minuses. Add it in, take it away, what you need to give, what you need to receive. I know that this is like so comfortable. It's just like, it's like as horrible as this thought is, it's like super comfortable because I can go back to it and be like, oh, I told you so. This is really who you are. It's just comfortable. It's familiar. It's been with you for a really really long time. But it's time to let go of that. Now, today is an interesting day for me. Today is actually, I didn't realize this until 2 days ago. This is the anniversary of the day my dad passed away. 7 years ago today, he left this earth, and look at him with his stash. I'm the baby in this picture with the bowl cut and the little patterned red dress. I'm the little one. There's 6 in our family. 6th one hadn't joined yet, but today is the anniversary, the 7th anniversary of his death. And I know that a big reason why I love to show up and I love to share is because my father was an amazing person in many ways, so talented, so gifted, just like so many of you, so talented, so gifted, so amazing, like so much unrealized potential inside of you. But there's these little things that hold you back. For him, not loving himself, struggling with depression, not thinking he had worth, not having healthy relationships, so many different things that I then attached onto. How many of us attach onto the thoughts, patterns, feelings of those that came before us or those around us, right? We kind of latch onto those things. And so he lived out the last 10 years of his life not in a happy place, not in a great place. And he lived his life with a lot of regret and so much potential. And so I feel like this is like a beautiful opportunity for us to all wake up, for us to all realize the potential that's inside of us, to play full out, to live all the way, to live without regret, to live out our dreams, our purpose, our passion, to let go of those negative limiting beliefs, to not go to the grave with these beliefs, but to be able to break through that board and to realize your potential so that you can be exactly who you are meant to be. I'm grateful for this man. I'm grateful for his example. I'm grateful for his love and his belief and his pride in me and his joy in everything that I ever did. He absolutely did not fail me in that way. And I'm here because of him. You're here because of other people, right? I'm grateful you're here. But what is it time to let go of? What is it time to release, to be done with, to break through, and to put away, to take off, to let it go? Today is the day to do that. You guys, I'm excited. This is just the beginning. How are we feeling? Are we okay? Whoo, maybe that was a little heavy. All right. So I am so pumped to be able to turn